Alright, today we are taking a look at a couple different versions of Final Fight. This is the Super Nintendo version, which is the one I'm most closely attached to. And this is a hell of a game. It's a pretty good conversion from the arcade, except for one thing. You can only play as Cody and Mike Hagar. They completely scrapped Guy, who I actually prefer playing with Guy. Cody does okay, though. I can't play with Mike Hagar. He's just way too damn slow. But he is probably the best video game politician ever. Yeah, this is, you know, a classic game. You walk to the right and you punch everything that moves. And sometimes you punch things that don't move and then eat the turkeys that were under those non-moving objects. And those jackets with the radiation symbol on the back, I always thought those were the coolest thing, and I wish I had one. You know, if I had a little more time and some money, that's what I'd do for Halloween. One of those Mad Gear Thugs, those badass jackets. I like the yellow one, not the red one. Believe it or not, I like the music in this version over the Sega CD. And the sound effects, too. I don't know, there's just like a certain richness to the way this game sounds that I appreciate more. I always liked the name Doug, D-U-G. That always made me laugh. A lot of these games are hilarious, like Bread. That's another good one. And 2-player. Or 2P. This is the Sega CD version. It's too late for me to do anything about it, but the program I used to rip the video off the DVD, it cuts off the first and last 3 seconds of every video, so I wanted to have this transition a little bit smoother, but oh well. But yeah, that mellow rock in the background, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. Like, it's not intense. It doesn't make me want to go beat up every thug in the city. This is a more faithful conversion of the arcade game. This one actually has the girls in it that you can beat the shit out of. And it's still a little bit edited from the Japanese version. Their skirts and tank tops are a little bit longer in this version, so they don't look quite as much like hookers. But they still look pretty slutty. Yeah, see, there she is right there. And the Super Nintendo version, it's just, you know, they make it into a effeminate looking, probably, you know, if it was today, an emo type kid. Like the male version on the Nintendo console ports of this game looks exactly the same. Just, you know, it's a guy instead of a girl. Even still has the handcuffs hanging off their waist. Slash right there, it's always reminded me of Andrew Dice Clay. If you don't know who Andrew Dice Clay is, look him up. He looks just like him. I'm sure lots of people have always wanted to punch the shit out of Andrew Dice Clay. And did you hear that hooker scream when I killed her? It sounded like that a guy do the voice. Oh! It sounded awful. This is probably the most faithful port of the arcade game. It's got, you know, the best intro with the voice acting, and yeah. So this is probably the most, definitely the most faithful port. It's not my personal favorite. I have more nostalgia for the Super Nintendo version, but that's not my favorite either. We're gonna get to that in a few seconds. Yes, the Game Boy Advance version. This is my favorite. This is definitely the most Mondo cool out of the 3 versions of Final Fight that I have. That is Alpha Cody. In this version, not only do you have all 3 of the original characters, Guy, Cody, Mike Hager, you also have 2 special hitting characters, Alpha Cody and Alpha Guy from the Street Fighter Alpha series. And this game has little cutscenes, and when you play as Alpha Cody and Alpha Guy, they don't know how they went back in time. It's got a couple funny moments. See, those 2 guys jumping around? They used to be the hookers. They still have the handcuffs. So, I mean, basically, that could still be the woman's. That guy looks a little too damn girly, jumping around all nibbly-bibbly like that. Could just be the same female character with, you know, jeans and a haircut. I don't know, for some reason Nintendo just doesn't want you punching hookers on a subway train. In the Game Boy Advance version, this is my favorite character to play as, Alpha Cody. There's not much of a difference between Guy and Alpha Guy. They look different, but they play exactly the same. And look at Alpha Cody there. Look at all that neck muscle. This guy's a fucking tank. And there's actually one more version of Final Fight we're going to take a look at. I was going to do a transition with the continue screen from this game, but like I said, ripping the video from the DVD, cut 3 seconds off before and 3 seconds after. So the countdown timer from 10 to 1 turned into 7 to 3, so that sucked. I had better plans for this video, but oh well. I'm too lazy to go back and re-record it, do actual editing. But this is Mighty Final Fight for the Nintendo Entertainment System. You level your guys' attacks up, and you're that crazy super deformed style, and you got that sweet Dragon Punch combo. This is probably my second favorite version of the game, next to the Game Boy Advance one. This is a lot of fun. I'm actually playing this on Game Boy Advance on Capcom Classics Mini Mix, which I got for like $3 at a department store that they closed down and moved locations, so they had a ton of video games. They moved in all their clearance video games from the other stores and just had hundreds and hundreds of video games, most of it crap, but this is the only thing I found, and I picked it up for $3. Because I wanted the Nintendo version of this. But this is a pretty much perfect port of the Nintendo version.